3 outstanding, absolutely divine fish recipes in this video. Let me know in the comments which one you'll be trying out first. For more of my recipes, you can head over to my website to go and check out all of my ebooks over there. Let's just jump straight into the first recipe, the first idea. Let's go. This has actually been one of my favorites for a while now, so it's only right that I share this recipe with you all. This is my ginger and chili salmon with coconut spinach rice. If you just want a midweek meal that just hits the spot, this is the one for you. We'll be using garlic for our salmon and for the rice, so it's just easier just to chop it all in one go. So chop up all of your garlic cloves, set half aside for the rice, which we'll need a little bit later on, but keep half of it, which we'll be needing right now. Continue on by grating up some ginger. If you want to just chop it finely, that will work too. So yeah, I just grated my ginger. Moving on to finally chopping up some fresh chili, being mindful of the type of chili that you're using, the intensity of the chili that you are choosing to use. So grab a little mixing bowl, place in some olive oil, some soy sauce or tamari, a swirl of honey. We are going to place in that fresh chili along with the garlic and all of that ginger and just mix everything well. You can pour that marinade over the salmon as soon as possible just to let those flavors sink in for as long as possible. So I actually just gave my salmon some salt and some garlic powder just beforehand. It's just a habit that I have whenever I'm cooking salmon. It's like base, it just needs a little bit of salt and garlic powder. Then I topped it with that marinade and I followed on by chopping up the rest of the ingredients for our salmon tray bake. So I chopped my red pepper just into chunky pieces. I grabbed my red onion, just chopped it into wedge-like pieces, and then thinly sliced some fresh lemon, just laying everything out in an oven dish before placing on top my salmon and pouring over any leftover marinade that was in the bowl. And I placed this fish into an oven of about 180 degrees and I left it in there for around 30 minutes until everything was cooked. When I think of a simple midweek meal, something that's just going to make me feel my best, I always just grab a piece of salmon. There's no going wrong with it. And then top it with that chili, ginger and honey marinade. Mwah, delicious. So I covered my oven dish with some foil and I placed the salmon tray into an oven of about 180 degrees, leaving it in there for around 30 to 35 minutes. Timing will always vary depending on the size of the fish that you're using. So we are going to wash our rice until the water runs clear. We are going to grab a pan. We're going to place in a touch of oil on a really low heat and just throw in that garlic, just cooking down for a couple of minutes. We will then throw in our baby spinach and just mix everything, placing in a little bit of salt before placing in our washed basmati rice. So cover with coconut milk along with some water. You can add a little bit more salt in too and just bring everything to a boil. We're just cooking rice. It's the same thing, cooking rice the same way. Reduce the heat, cover the pot, let the rice cook. You will be left with the most incredible coconut spinach rice, which I am just in love with. I'm obsessed with this one. So for the last 10 minutes of cooking the salmon, you can remove the foil if you want to. So remove that beautiful tray of ginger and chili honey salmon from the oven. This one is simplicity at its finest. So go ahead and serve it up with that coconut and spinach rice. Then place on top that ginger, chili and honey salmon. You can throw on top all of the vegetables, so the red peppers, the red onions, even with some lemon slices. Garnish with some fresh parsley. I topped with a few sesame seeds also. Honestly, I'm just eating it with everything at the moment. I threw on a little bit of Greek yogurt and I think for me that was like the cherry on top. It was just delicious. This is uncomplicated, no fuss food, which is just going to make you feel incredible from the inside out, and most importantly, your taste buds are going to be in for a ride. You will devour. I'm telling you, you're going to enjoy this one. If there's one thing that I love, it is a good fish cake. So these are my tuna, sun-dried tomato and feta fish cakes with minted peas. So I dreamed of this combination, this tuna, feta and sun-dried tomato fish cake. It was like born in my mind and I had to try it. And let me tell you, it did not disappoint. So we're going to be using some sun-dried tomatoes. We're also going to be using some feta, some tuna. When I say we are packing these fish cakes full of beautiful ingredients, I mean it. So we'll also be using some spring onions, some cabbage, and we're going to be needing some potatoes too. I'd say that the potatoes are necessary, but if you do want to leave out the cabbage, I think it's a really great step. But if you do want to leave it out, you can. You totally can. For our minted peas, we are going to be needing some peas, some crème fraîche, some fresh mint. You can add in fresh dill, or if you don't have mint, you could definitely use fresh parsley. All herbs would work for this. So let's start by peeling and chopping up all of our potatoes and just putting them to boil. Of course, the potato is just going to act as a binder, and it's just a great addition for any fish cake. So yeah, place your potatoes into some salted boiling water, and let's continue on by cooking up the rest of the ingredients. So grab your cabbage. I'm using a Savoy cabbage. You could use a regular white cabbage. That would work perfectly too. Just give it a good wash and chop it finely. Follow on by finely chopping up your spring onions. So grab a pan and heat on a medium heat. Place in your spring onions, your cabbage. You can splash in some tamari. You can give it some salt, some pepper, and just cook everything for a few minutes. Be patient with the cabbage. It will cook down. It definitely will. So just set your cabbage aside. Chop up your sun-dried tomatoes. So drain off the water from your cooked potatoes. I cooked mine for around 20 to 25 minutes. Doesn't matter if you overcook these because they are going to kind of get mashed anyways. For the fish cakes, I placed the cooked potatoes back into the pot along with some butter. I placed in that cooked cabbage, the tuna, sun-dried tomatoes, lemon zest, all of those fresh herbs, so the fresh parsley and the fresh dill, and some black pepper before just combining everything. So I just combined everything well, all of that fish cake mixture, before crumbling in some feta and then just gently folding the feta in. So step one was placing the fish cake into the flour, then dipping it into the egg, and then finally placing on those breadcrumbs. If you want to skip this step because it just seems like it's a lot for you, you could just place breadcrumbs over. They will stick to the fish cakes because of the potato. It will stick. I just like doing the full kind of egg dip step, but it's completely optional. You can just go straight to the breadcrumbs. It will still work. It might not be as golden, but it will still work. So to cook these tuna, sun-dried tomato and feta fish cakes, I grabbed my non-stick pan and I placed some avocado oil in, just cooking the fish cakes on both sides until they were golden. Everything is pretty much cooked anyways, so you're just kind of like heating them through and making them crispy and golden. On the outside, I cooked mine for about 4 minutes on each side. For our minted peas, I grabbed a mini food processor, placing in the peas. I actually threw some watercress, which was really random. I just saw it on the side and thought, hey, let me throw that in there because I don't want it to go to waste. I placed the fresh mint in, some crème fraîche, some salt, some lemon juice, and just whizzed everything up. So serve these tuna, sun-dried tomatoes and feta fish cakes with those minted herby peas, along with some steamed tender stem if you want to. The combination of the tuna, the sun-dried tomatoes and the feta, oh my God, these will leave you speechless. Delicious. Like the salmon recipe that I shared, which I said was a great midweek option, this is also a great midweek idea. This is my pesto crusted cod. Ultimately, we are just blitzing pesto with some bread. We are going to top some cod with it. I find that with this recipe, a thin slice of cod just works better. Like I mentioned, we'll be needing all of our pesto ingredients. So our fresh basil, lemon, garlic, olive oil. I'm using some nutritional yeast in place of Parmesan, but you could definitely use Parmesan if you have some. And I'm also going to be using some butter along with some bread. So grab a food processor, place in all of your ingredients. So that bread, that fresh basil, some fresh garlic. I'm using nutritional yeast. If you want to use Parmesan, that is fine. Some extra virgin olive oil, some softened butter and some salt, and just whiz everything up. You're going to be left with this green pesto-y breadcrumb mixture, which we are simply going to top our fish with. So grab your cod, give it some salt, some pepper, and a good squeeze of lemon or lime, and then place on top that pesto breadcrumb, making sure everything is patted down really well. Place the cod into a preheated oven of about 180 degrees and cook for around 12 to 15 minutes, depending on the size of your cod. You don't want to overcook cod because it's just not nice when you overcook it. So remove your cooked cod from the oven. It would have gone golden on top. If it doesn't, you could just maybe place it under the grill for a couple of minutes and it will crisp up. I served mine with some smashed lemon and herb potatoes with a little rocket and red onion and some cherry tomatoes. I don't think it gets any more simple than a crusted piece of fish. Obviously, you can use whatever fish you enjoy, whatever fish you have. It doesn't have to be cod. You can definitely experiment and switch things up in your kitchen. This is just like a basic recipe for you to follow. So 3 fish recipes for you to take into your week. Let me know which one you will be trying out first in the comments. For more of my recipes, you can head over to my website, go and check out all of my recipe ebooks over there. I will see you very soon in my next video. See you all soon. Bye.